Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Thanks for watching my channel. It was Saturday. It was a beautiful day. My family and we got out and just did some fun stuff. We went to the park, did some scenic viewing, and did a little grocery shopping, picked up some salmon and some strawberries so I can make a nice dinner for us all after our long, busy day of funness. And it turned out really good. So I made balsamic glazed salmon with strawberry relish on top and salad, potatoes, and some broccoli, and it was really good. Everyone really liked it a lot. So let me show you how I made it. And first I started by making the salad. I thought if I made the salad first, that's easy just to get out of the way. I have a fairly small kitchen. It's a galley kitchen. I'm very limited on space, so I have to really utilize, how I do this and counter space wise, just really thinking it out strategically. So I started off by doing the salad and I cut up like one heart of romaine, and obviously I washed it, washed everything first, and then I just chopped it up and I placed it in this coupe bowl instead of doing like a big salad bowl, because I figured we could just finish this whole salad tonight instead of making like a super large salad that I would have for the next few days. I just wanted to make this salad kind of perfect for this balsamic glazed salmon with strawberry relish on top. I wanted it to pair nicely with it. So we picked up some tomatoes, and I cannot wait for my tomatoes to start growing on our tomato plants because, oh, I feel so guilty when I buy tomatoes from the grocery store and I have all these tomato plants growing in my backyard. Yet, there's nothing growing on them yet. There's some little flowers, and I've seen some green tomatoes on the patios and on some of the early girls because those always grow the best, like really fast and first before the other tomato plants start getting things. So I picked these up and just gonna chop these in into bite size. That way it makes it easy for everyone. Sometimes my kids like tomatoes on their salad, sometimes they don't. So this works out perfect, And then I'm gonna use some strawberries as well on top of the salad too. I'm not gonna use a lot because I wanna save a good amount for when I make the strawberry relish for the salmon. I'm not gonna use the entire cucumber up on the salad. I like to cut it all up at once because we do nibble on it while I am cooking. My kids, they always get so hungry right when I'm making dinner. It always happens. I don't know about your kids, but it definitely happens with my kids. So when I make a salad, I love cutting the entire cucumber up and then setting it on the side and pulling out some salad dressing so that way they can all nibble on it. It helps. So that way then they're not getting completely filled up on something else before dinner. And then I don't feel so bad if they do get filled up from eating the cucumbers, which they don't, but at least it's a healthy snack. So I cut the entire cucumber up, I put some on the salad, and then I set some aside with some salad dressing, and it works out perfect for a snack. We all nibble on it. It's tasty. Now that the cucumbers are all cut up, I'm just going to set them in something and set it aside. I like using the snapware so that way if we don't finish it, I can just snap it up, put it in the fridge. And then I know my daughter's going to come along and ask which salad dressing I'm going to put out on the counter for us to dip our cucumbers in the meantime. And now I'm going to go ahead and start on the strawberry relish to put on top of the salmon. I want to go ahead and get that done and out of the way. That way then I can really utilize my space. And also, I like to try to do certain things first with the cutting board and then other things later. So I like to do my stuff that is not raw. So I like to cut up all my veggies and fruit, things like that first, and then do my raw stuff. So I will use my cutting board later for my salmon. So I'm cutting the strawberries up into really small, petite size. So that way when it's garnished on top of the salmon, it's a perfect size for each bite. For this recipe, you're going to need a cup worth of strawberries diced up, and if you want to, you can always add more. There's nothing wrong with that because if you have kids and they love strawberries, that's going to go the fastest. So just really eye it out of how much you really want to go for on top for the relish. I didn't really measure mine out. I just really eyed it out. We bought 2 cartons of strawberries and I set aside some strawberries that I knew I would need for tonight's dinner. It definitely went really fast. The kids absolutely love strawberries, so this is what I had left from what we did get. So my kids definitely love strawberries. Definitely just dice them up into bite sizes. Before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and add some feta cheese to the top of the salad. My kids love feta cheese. My youngest absolutely loves it, so this is a bonus for, having this on top of the salad because he'll nitpick the craziness out of it. So that makes me happy as a mom that he's eating other things too. So just, you don't have to add this if you don't like feta cheese. If you do like feta cheese, you can go crazy with it. Depends on, how crazy you like it. And you can add as much as you want or as little as you want. So this is a personal preference. And then I also set some aside too for us all to nibble on along with our cucumbers. And my daughter decided she wanted to use the salad dressing that we just picked up too, which was the garlic expressions one. My aunt introduced it to my mom, and then my mom introduced it to me, and I just fell in love with it ever since. It is amazing. It tastes so good. I'm going to go ahead and start on the potatoes because they take a good 20 minutes in the oven. So I want to have those prepped and ready. So when I start my salmon on the stove, I can go ahead and put these right in the oven, and it'll be nice and warm on both parts of being the salmon being nice and warm and the potatoes being nice and warm. So for the potatoes, we're going to start with a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil. I always spray mine with pan spray, and then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm using these petite potatoes that I got from Aldi's. It's 1.5 pound. I absolutely love getting my potatoes there because they're great prices. It's perfect sizes for my family for dinner. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and wash them up, cut them in half, and do that for all of them. Place it on top of the baking sheet that's lined with aluminum foil. Now that we have them all cut up in half, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just sprinkle it all over top. And then next we're going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. And again, just sprinkle it all over top. Then lastly, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of parsley. You can use Italian seasoning if you would like. I've done both and they're both amazing. But tonight I'm going to do parsley instead. Now just massage everything nicely so each potato is nicely coated with the olive oil and the seasonings. This just makes it so tasty with every bite that you take. Everything's coated perfectly. I love to keep fresh basil and herbs right out my back door, so that way when I'm cooking I can just come right out here and just get what I need. It works perfect. So I'm actually going to be using some fresh basil with the relish for the strawberries to go on top of the salmon. And for this, it actually calls for a 1/4 cup of basil. You can add as much as you want or as little as you'd like. It depends on how much basil you like. So I'm just really eyeing it out. I know my kids will eat some and then try to work around it because sometimes they don't like it when it's too strong and overpowering with basil, but I absolutely love basil. And I am using my kitchen scissors to just cut it up instead of cutting it with a knife. This works so easy. It saves time and frustration. If you've ever tried cutting basil with a knife, just making it in like strips, it can be frustrating. So cutting it with scissors is a lot easier. I'm using 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. I'm going to pour that right on into for the strawberry relish. And also add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. This balsamic I got from Aldi's. I do really like it. I like the price. But my husband and I, when we are out and about, you know, playing tourist around town, if we see a cute like olive oil shop, we do like to try to go in and see what kind of different varieties they have, because we really do like balsamic a lot. So it's nice to get something that's infused with something. But this one's nice because it's just a plain balsamic that I got from Aldi's, and it was a great price again. Now just go ahead and mix this all together and then just set aside, and then go ahead and preheat your oven to 450 degrees because we're going to go ahead and put our potatoes in the oven. Once heated to 450 degrees, go ahead and place them in the oven for 20 minutes until they are nice and soft. Now we're going to go ahead and season our salmon with a 1/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic and also a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you definitely want to let your salmon rest for about a good 10 minutes on the counter before placing it on the pan. I definitely did that while I was working on the relish. So just mix this all together, and then we're going to go ahead and sprinkle it on top so that way the tops are nicely coated with the seasoning. I didn't do the skin because we're not going to eat the skin, so I just did the tops. We got a little over a pound of salmon. I want to say it was like 1.27 pound. This worked out perfect for our family size and with the kids. We're going to go ahead and make a glaze that we're going to cook the salmon in. So you're going to want to heat your pan to medium heat, and we're going to take 3/4 cups of balsamic vinegar. Now I know it seems like a lot of balsamic vinegar to go into this, but we're going to reduce it down. So that works out perfect. You know, don't be scared of it when you're adding that much and then trying to reduce it because of all the steam coming off of the pan, which you can see the steam now. And then we're going to go ahead and add 1.5 tablespoons of honey to it as well. And if you know me, I like to spray my measuring cups or my measuring spoon with pan spray, so that way the honey just glides right out and it makes it a lot easier instead of sitting there waiting for it to just slowly come out the spoon or the cup. So it works really nice to do this. Once you have the balsamic and the honey in the pan and the pan's nice and hot and you're seeing the steam come through, definitely go ahead and give it a good stir. That way the ingredients are nicely mixed together. And you're going to want to let the mixture reduce for about a good 3 minutes to 5 minutes until you get it to be less than what you actually put in, and you will see that it starts to go down as you are cooking this. And again, don't be terrified of the steam coming off the top. It's going to keep reducing down. I like to stir mine constantly or kind of throughout and just kind of keep an eye on it, so that way it's not too overwhelming when, you know, if it's bubbling and you don't want it to burn. So I just keep an eye on mine. So you can set your spoon down, but when you do really start to see it start to bubble, that's when I really start to give it a good stir, because again, I don't want it to burn, and it can really thicken up. Again, it is a glaze, so you do want it to be thicker, but I'm actually going to just cook mine in this because we're actually going to be using a strawberry flavored glaze with balsamic vinegar that we got from Aldi's, and my daughter absolutely loves it. And so we're going to go ahead and put that on top of the strawberry relish on top of the salmon. So it'll be really perfect. So I'm really technically just using this balsamic mixture here in the pan just to really cook the salmon and give it a nice tasty flavor. So we have it nicely reduced, and now we're going to go ahead and put the skin side up, and we're going to cook for 3 to 4 minutes each side. I like putting the skin side up first because then that way it cooks the top, and then when I flip it, I'm going to cook the skin side down, and it helps to where it removes the skin so easily when plating it. It works perfect. I did leave the pan on medium heat. You can use your judgment call on if you want to reduce it yourself. This helped with me timing out how long to cook each side for. So I let it cook for a good like 3.5 minutes, and then I flipped it. So now that the other side will cook, and that way it'll cook nicely through. So for this side, let it cook for 3 to 4 minutes and leave it on the medium heat. Now, if you were going to be cooking something else alongside it and you needed to space out the time, you could reduce the heat and cook it just a little bit longer, so you could get other things done. But this worked out perfect. It really did. I can't complain. I really liked it a lot. And I'm also going to be heating up some broccoli that I got from Costco. It takes like a good 5 minutes in the microwave, which is perfect. The potatoes are done. Everything is smelling amazing. We're almost done on the salmon. I'm just waiting for the broccoli to finish cooking up. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the stove off, and I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on, so that way I don't overcook this, but I don't want it to, you know, be cold by the time I serve it. So it looks great. I'm going to let it just cook just a little bit, you know, by cooking it with the lid on, but turning the stove off. It looks great. It smells great. Everyone's going to be really happy with it. So I put the lid on close to 3 minutes. That way I didn't overcook the salmon because no one wants really dry salmon. I wanted it to be full of flavor, so it really helped. And then that way the broccoli could finish up. I'm going to go ahead and use the salad dressing that we picked up today that I was talking about earlier. It's Garlic Expressions. This one is so amazing. I love it. It's gluten-free. It's so tasty. And even when you finish it up, at the very bottom, there's big chunks of garlic. Especially if you're a garlic lover, they are tasty. I'm just going to go ahead and pour this all over the salad. I'm going to use a decent amount that can provide for this portion of salad. And we actually finished the entire salad up that night. It was so tasty. Look how tasty that looks. Oh, I wish you could try it. It's so good. Everyone loved it. I just love adding fruit on top of my salads, especially strawberries. They're so good. The potatoes are done. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a bowl, and then that way I can create more space on my counter so I can plate everyone's plates up. Now, don't forget, there's all that yummy olive oil and garlic and parsley down on the bottom, so definitely take that and pour it over top of the potatoes in the bowl. You won't regret it having that extra on top of it. It's so tasty. The broccoli's done, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it in a bowl and then add some butter and then zap it for like another minute just to get the butter to melt throughout the broccoli. This I get from Costco. I really like it. There's another bag that I like to get, which is the Food Lion brand, but sometimes I don't really get out there that often, so when I'm at Costco I like to grab this. Everything is done, so I was originally going to bring it out to the table and plate out there, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to plate everything at the counter and then just bring the plates over and make it so much easier. And it worked out better that way. It made it to where I didn't have to bring so much back over to the counter when everyone was done. So I'm plating up with the salad, the potatoes, the broccoli, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the salmon, and the skin fell off so perfect when I went to plate it. That's what I like when cooking salmon, how the way I did it, because I hate having the skin on the plate, and especially when you have kids, they don't want to try to work around that. It makes it easier for the kids. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the strawberry relish on top, and you can add as much or as little as you would like. And then now I'm going to go ahead and use the strawberry glaze that I got from Aldi's. It is really tasty. My kids like this a lot. My daughter really likes it, so we always make sure that we do grab it when we see it when we're at Aldi's. And it's perfect. It was really perfect with this dish. So my husband and I, we're going to be using the coupe bowls, and for my kids, I'm going to use the square plates. I try to make things fancy once in a while when we eat because we really don't go out to eat, so this makes it a treat for us. And it makes it fun. I feel like for the kids, the coupe bowls would be too overwhelming, so I like using the smaller plates for them so it's not overwhelming for them. But if they want more, then I always get up and grab more from the kitchen for them, and it works out perfect. Now, you don't have to use the strawberry balsamic glaze that we get from Aldi's. You can use the one that was in the recipe that we cooked the salmon in on the pan, and you can just use that because it is a glaze and it does thicken up. We just personally really loved the strawberry glaze on top since we did a strawberry relish with it. It worked out perfect. Now I'm going to start plating up the kids' plates, and my daughter loves salad, so I'm putting that on hers. My son, he likes salads, but not so much. He more likes the toppings of the salads. So I will do his different than how I do my daughter's. And then for my youngest, he's in a high chair, so I will put all of his stuff on his high chair. And he really loved the salmon, and he loved the strawberries, of course, and all the feta. And it was so cute. He was so worn out. The poor little guy, he fell asleep actually at his high chair. He was so tuckered out. But he really enjoyed our dinner. He enjoyed our day. We all had a great day. The food was amazing. It was awesome, like how we did it as an adventure and then going out getting some stuff that we were going to cook with for the night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed what I made for our Saturday dinner as a family. It was so nice to, really get out and do something together and then make this awesome meal. But thank you again for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks, guys. Bye.